As you guys may know, there's a hurricane currently on the way. So for this month's newsletter, I actually wanted to do a hurricane prep guide because most of you guys are up north, have vacation homes down here, or you actually have seasonal homes and residences. For you, those of you that are here full time, you probably know a lot of this stuff. But if not, um, here's a nice list for you to think about prior to either leaving your home or prepping for a hurricane. Hurricanes. So one of the main things too that you should focus on is make sure that all your doors are locked, and if you have hurricane shutters, make sure they're all down. This is a big one. Some people don't put them down, but if you are leaving, it kind of is a security thing too. So just make sure they're down and make sure all doors are locked, even if you have impact glass down here too. If you don't have impact glass, I don't know if you know somebody or you might want to get down here if a hurricane is en route, because you're probably going to want to board up the windows. Second of all, know your insurance. When we went through Irma, a lot of people didn't know what their insurance actually covered. This being said, because we haven't really been hit by a hurricane prior to Irma. It was probably a 10-year gap. So nobody really looked too far into their insurance coverage. So know your deductibles, know what your insurance is covering. Next thing, make sure any loose items aren't left outside, meaning pool chairs, pool equipment, stuff like that. Any maybe roof tile or anything that's alongside the house. Just make sure everything is put away behind your shutters or in the garage and everything is closed. As far as your boats too, if you do have a boat, make sure you raise the lift up real high. You can strap the boat to the dock. A lot of people do that, or just trailer the boat, put it in your garage. Make sure you unhook your batteries too. Preferably not having the boat on the lift. That's more of a preferable thing, but if you have nowhere to put it, just raise your lift as high as possible. Make sure you got no covers on the boat as well. So as far as the next thing too, make sure all your water's turned off. And then also if you have gas, a propane tank, make sure that all your gas lines are turned off, because something hits them, God forbid the gas line breaks open, something ignites it could be a big problem. Same with the water. You don't want your water spraying everywhere. Surge protection is important. Most people have surge protectors on their house nowadays, just in case it gets struck by lightning. That's another important thing. So if you have anything that's not surge protected, you might want to unplug it away from an outlet, because we are in Florida. There's a ton of lightning. So it's just a thought. Another thing too is with your generators. So a lot of people actually after Irma went and got a generator. That's great. Just make sure it's running okay. So before you leave too, obviously you probably tested it, or you probably have somebody come and look at it to test it. The problem with the generators was a lot of people's batteries, because they weren't used so often, the batteries ran out. So the generators didn't kick on when they needed power. Also propane, make sure, because those generators run off of propane, that you have enough propane in your tanks prior to leaving. Just I'd check that, because we are in hurricane season, and if a hurricane's coming, there's probably not going to be a lot of propane available. Another thing too is if you don't have a generator, what people do is they kind of crank their fridge if you have stuff in it. Most people don't if you guys are leaving for a 6-month period, but if you do, most people turn their fridge up pretty high. That'll obviously retain a lot of the cooling in the fridge, as long as the doors aren't open, in case you do lose power. And if you don't have a generator that's running your fridge, like I said, that's an option. But most people, I just don't even leave food in the fridge at all, or your freezer. I'd get rid of it all. Um, Last but not least, I mean, besides, your normal hurricane prep, if you guys aren't here, those were your major things. And if you're not here for a while too, hire a good home watch guy. I happen to be one. I have a few homes right now due to the storm that's coming this way. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it for my customers. I've had a few customers call me just to keep an eye out in case I got to remove boat covers or raise their lifts, so on. I'm their guy. I'm there to help them. So if you do have a home watch professional, plus I got connections too within the construction industry in case something does happen. So that's an option there too, is to hire somebody that can look out for your property week to week. And just in case something like this is coming, um, yeah, they'll be there for you. So I hope this helped, guys. Just wanted to run this real quick just for some tips because we are getting into prime of hurricane season, just in case. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys later.